Hello guys, welcome back to another What If video. Today I'm building a brand new world called What If Asta Was a Jedi. Now I've done many attempts on this What If, but I never found quite like it how it turned out, so yeah, hopefully this will be the final one, but yeah. Let's dive into it, shall we? As we begin in the start of the Clone Wars series. We are the planet I don't remember the moon that the Yoda is on, but yeah. He's on a planet as the droid follows him and the clones now start to shoot at them. But suddenly they just hear a noise. It was Asta. Yes, Asta will be in this. On that planet. As she jumps down and kicks some droids. So get off my planet! As he gets a droid gun and doesn't know how to shoot it, but then he sees that it pulls it, and then he starts to see the trigger and but pulls it. I'm like, huh? He starts to shoot the droids. Yoda and Cons see this as they would see the atoms feeling from here. Said would do what they had. They just ran towards Asta and dragged them away, but then Asta just broke free again. Started shooting at them again. Then he looked at the clones and was about to shoot them, then Yoda just first pulled him. Asta could feel something familiar about him. Something odd. But Asta decides that feels that they're not bad, they just want good for this one, but the Separatist doesn't. The droid doesn't, so he just follows the with clones and helps them. Fight off the droids. King sees and decides to look in his mind. He says internally, that little brat always causes trouble, don't he? He thinks to himself. Starts to venture to see that boy and like wonder who that is. As for the speed of things up now, it's back to when. Well, do I have the meeting with the king? But now, as said, they would return to the king there afterwards, after the entire fight. As Arceus lands right next to the king, and the king is tells him to stand. Come here, you little. Arceus stands with as he connected said, "You're a troublemaker." Just to Yoro see the bond, and then I said, "Sorry, Papa." He laughed a little bit as they hold one of the blasters. His father like, so that drank some water. Got a strike. I drank some water. You won't get this. There's only one there's only a few persons that know will get this. Well, we have a little fight on Discord server. Dear. Wait, if you want to make the origin of the Sith Asta, I can. Oh yes, I will make a Sith Asta, okay, where he will be Sith. So yeah, I can make an origin of that later on. So yeah, but anyway. But anyways, now Asta would. No, the lieutenant actually said permission to speak as Yoda SL. Your son, your highness, he's very skilled with the blaster, even though it seems that he never used one before. He's very skilled. Yoda said, as he said, yes, my son is very special, he said. Extraordinary things, he can fix anything easily. As Yoda knew, he could sense the immense force of him. The force from Asta meeting. As afterwards, he would ask if he could private audience with the king. And the king said, yes, of course. Asta stayed with him, then he said, perhaps without your son. I said, oh, come on. The lieutenant saw the look and said, well, we can we can train you with guns or I said, yay! He just immediately runs to us and holding the gun he got from the droids. There. As the discussion with Yoda and the king would take place. Well, I'll talk about it now actually. As Yoda would take your son is very unique. Then he tells him yes. When I found him, and adopted him. I had to adopt him. I found him here. Without any parents at all. No sense of them at all. So I took him in and adopted him. He said, of course. Then he said, he's very powerful in the Force. He said, the Force. Is that what you Jedi's in safe use? I said, yes. Your son is extremely powerful in it. I'd like to request that he will be trained in the ways of the Jedi, of the Force. He said, I think about it. He said, I need to think. Then I looked over to where Asta was. He had so much fun with the clones, just had fun too. Well, they messed around with Asta, and he messed around with them. They just shot the droid's head until they stood. Hold up, was one of them started to throw them now. Asta tried to hit them. It takes some time, but then he just hit them again. Just a real funny laugh. And then he said, "It looks like Asta, my son, has fun with your clones. Very well. If he wants to, then yes, he can train to become a Jedi." I stood to see that. Then Asta would feel something from his father. He'd be like, what? And then the droid head would hit him instead as they threw it up. But also they would clowns would see it change in Asta, like, look, what? Then see the serum instead. Asta would walk over to his father and said, what is it, father? Then the father said, do you want to become, as they explained that towards Asta, do you want to become a Jedi? Asta said, what? He's confused now. But yes, that says after explaining that, as Yoda said, you can hang out with the clones all day. You can hang out with the clones and have fun with them. For all, at least until you get back to Coruscant where you start your training. I said, yay! Finally. Then this taxi father said, of course I want to. But I don't know if I should leave. I said, go. Son, I'm safe here. I'm just glad that you got this opportunity to get off this planet and do whatever you want. I said, thanks, Dad. He hugs him again. So now I'll leave for the ship, as they would see another guy. Instead of the clones and Yoda, it will be one other guy too. It will be Asta holding the blaster. As then, one last time, there's one of the clones just decided to use a grenade to just launch a droid head up in the sky. Tell Asta to aim perfectly now and hit the head. So does that, and Asta hits the head. As it falls down right next to the king. King will be shocked a little bit, and he just giggled a bit. You keep the head. As they just high-five them all. As they had fun. As when they get to the cruiser, they would explain. Yoda said that, well, I need to speak to the council. As they called for a council meeting immediately. Explained about Austin that they won the alliance with the Planet 2. But he came when the winners with the Force. He met the king's adopted son. Without causing Austin knowing that Austin was too dumb to realize that he was adopted. He was too dense, correctly said. But then, well, discuss now, Asta had, with the clones that had left and all that, they would get along really well. Also get along really well with the clones. So then, when they were arriving with Coruscant, where the council will now test Asta in the Force, he will be told that he would tell them what he saw in the picture. He told them exactly what it was. He described them details that even they didn't realize at first. It was there, but then they realized that they were. We can't like that. For an entire test, they then would sense that he has attachment, but still, they then had to check a minute current count on him. They took a blood sample as they checked that the machine just literally just broke. Asta's middle clone count was off the charts. They fought or something. He was so powerful that the machine couldn't register it. So then they would start training with Asta. Asta requested us then during the breaks when he didn't have to train, he could. The clones was there to cheer him on. They were happy that Asta could be trying to become a Jedi, though Asta was training in his spare time with the clones. He actually trained with a gun. Jedi, Obi-Wan felt like so uncivilized. Found it quite amusing though. Asta was very childish for being a teenager. Well, he was 12, almost teenager then, I guess. Yeah. Asta during this time would have mastered everything, like could everything training quick as fuck. As he then would manage to get his lightsabers now. As he thinks about he doesn't know what to have on them, but then he remembers things about what he enjoys the most. He finds 2 crystals and creates 2 swords, lightsaber swords. One would be orange, one would be black. Yes. As he had him with his health now. Though, when he was ready to, he always had the guns too with him. Just in case, just in case a lot. As he and the clones had a little tag, like he and some clones actually, was a little bit childish too still, had a game of tag but with this gun set on stun. As they would find it quite amusing on the ship when they were bored. As the admirals and all the higher ups just enjoyed seeing the games. As Asta would now be pointed as a Padawan to someone. It won't take long though before Asta will get to find one, and that Jedi will be Obi-Wan Kenobi. Yes, Asta will be Obi-Wan Kenobi's Padawan, new Padawan. For a while at least. As he would quickly, well, when it was appointed to him, he sadly had to say goodbye to the troops. And so he fought. They requested, Yoda actually told him that to move to the 212th Division, which is Obi-Wan Kenobi's division of clones, a battalion of clones. So he could move there, and some other clones were moved to Yoda's to fill in this spot, as they to carry on the tags when also spare time. Yoda thought it was very important for also still, with the clones that he grew close to them. There will be his little squad. Obi-Wan despised that, but then he followed the Grandmaster orders. As some more clones was in the tag games. You know, the more are interested in all that. As Asta meets Ahsoka and Anakin. But yeah. As he meets with Ahsoka and Anakin, he and Ahsoka would go close as friends. No shipping there. That's serious, there will not be a shipping between those two. Okay, sorry. Yeah, you saw nothing. You saw nothing about that thumbnail. But yeah, okay, you saw the thumbnail, okay? I can show you that now. What if Asta was a Sith? Yep, you seen it. There will be a Sith Asta. But Asta would quite enjoy. Well, I was saying the shipping between Asta and Ahsoka. There might be something between them, but I don't know. Okay, not too big because that might interfere with the story later on. Yeah, so train with them as they, in the big hangar. They had the guns of tag with the stun guns. As Ahsoka thought he was quite childish, he told Anakin that, well, as then he said, well, he's a royal. Then Obi-Wan said, well, what your Master Yoda told me, he's royal actually. of the latest planet Yoda was on, as they told him about that backstory. And couldn't be surprised a lot. Huh. As then also Kodos, he's like the same age, but how old is he? Like, he's 2 years younger than you. So, oh, okay. Also had fun with the clones now. They thought it was funniest having fun with the Jedi Padawan. And just have some entertainment, as there were sometimes when Asta lost and sometimes when Asta won. Either way, when he lost or won, he had always had so much fun with the clones. They kept the steam up in there, kept the clones in right shape or not, still while there was no battles. So it grew quite popular. As one time they even got code in it into the games of tag. Yeah, maybe we should stop messing around with the tag games, but yeah, now they get serious. They also would train out the Obi-Wan Kenobi. They go on special missions together. To find some Kalankas. Also have some home visits. So with the and some with the clones that he had with him when he switched from Yoda's, all that he will have more time with spend with them. They still had fun throwing the droid skulls and Asta would hit them. And then Asta would sometimes just use lightsaber to hit them a lot. To still as Obi-Wan sword is training us different and might be good for Asta since his unique situations. As only Obi-Wan and the Council knew, but also middle-chlorian count. Well, that a machine couldn't register it. So yes, Asta would. How should I explain it? Well, they would have some issues now as the years went by. Actually, Asta is 14 now, and I think it's at this time Ahsoka had left the Jedi Order already. But Asta would start to get hissed out of the Jedi Order, the fault of that. As with Ahsoka during a mission with his clone squad. With Ahsoka, they have each other as friends. Then Asta asked what happened, because he was absent during the trial due to a mission and home visit and all that. She explains everything that happened. Asta started to get his doubt about the Jedi Council now and the Jedi's overall. He started doubting it. See when he went back home for a while, he would be absent, not answer Obi-Wan's calls. Till Obi-Wan realized where he was and tracked him down there. Was about to get him. As the clones followed him, of course. Instead, he decided to just come back. As Obi-Wan asked why, I said he needed time. I needed time alone. That's why they refused to let me go. They refused to let me go alone. They have felt a duty to protect me. Or at least that's what they're telling me now. Yes, Coin said, yes sir. And get back on the Venator ship now. They were still in the training, but then Obi-Wan saw that his Asta's mind was somewhere else. As then, when he was trying with lightsabers, they were not. What is it, Padawan? He said, now my mind is shakes it off. I had my mind elsewhere. Obi-Wan would be curious about where it was and why. Still, as Asta would now have decided actually one time. He would leave the Jedi Order. His doubt had been confirmed. He saw more flaws that Ahsoka saw before. So he just decided to leave the Jedi Order. With his legs he kept them, of course. As he had received news when he was here, because the reasons why he left was a big reason now. That will go in now. Yes, I'll tell you what. That he left the council left the Jedi Order before he left. Before we know why exactly. It was because the planet the planet that Yoda found him on would have been attacked by the Separatists, without the Republic knowing at first. Then we got to transmit with the Separatist, from the Separatist to the Jedi Order. As then he saw the king, his father, get killed. Separatists bombarding the planet to bits and destroys it. As for Sidious, he would be like, no. He takes his Jedi ship and is in the middle of the fight there. Obi-Wan said, Asta! Then Cons were all brown and tends to follow him immediately. As they realized that this was no game of tag anymore, it was no game. As Obi-Wan fired his most, every Jedi Council followed the most to that he might turn to their dark side. Asta now lands on a planet. He would still see the fresh corpse of his father. Then see the separatist droids. As they were infuriated now, he ignites his lightsaber immediately. He starts slicing through and the closer now land. As Obi-Wan was not too far behind with his giant cruiser. Dude, he launches multi-scale attack there. Well, multi-scale launch to get Asta back in, and kinda drove the separatist off. Asta is hunted down all the separatists, all the droids, and it slices them. And then, when he gets back his fight back, he's to the house where he lived for so long. He finds his room. The droid had that he had left when he left to become a Jedi. He felt emotions. You feel the pain. As then he heard someone walking behind him. It was not the clones. It was one of the separatists, Ventress, ready to kill him. So we meet again. I was just pushed her back, hold out his hand, I just pushed her back, right through the walls. She get lost a long bit. Asta's emotions start to dwell inside of him. No, 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 he thought himself. As he remembers the corpse of his father. No, he sees his people, then he sees all the bodies outside of the villages. Everyone on the planet was dead, killed. He would feel pain now, hate, anger. Obi-Wan sensed it too, as everyone else sensed it too. Palpatine, the dark side users too. Asta just erupt. Stan. He just cuts out runs off the Sash Ventress. Right before he could do that, Obi-Wan managed to freeze him long enough for his clone squad to stun him. Also falls down. Gets catched by one of the other clones to get him on the ship immediately. Makes a retreat around for it. Well, they just had destroyed separatists. Sash Ventress had to retreat too, but still they made a round to get Asta to Medding Bay. The hatred and anger were just disappear from Asta now. When he woke up, he was full of sorrow and pain in him for what has happened. He wasn't strong enough. Then we start to blame no, it's the other Order's fault. This would never have happened if they didn't. If they never had. Asta's pain would have felt better he had a console. When he wakes up, he takes a tough decision. He leaves the Jedi Order. As to ask why, I said I don't believe in the Republic anymore. You promised it would protect my home planet. You didn't. You let it go to ruins. Then he leaves, takes starship and flies off. His squad mates, the clone squad around Asta's clone squad, would decide the Yoda told him that go after him. Take him, you must. Const was the leader of duty for the clone army. And the original clone squad from Asta, well, the 3 clones there was with Asta was a lot. As we go, as this 10 months now, you look for a suitable planet to stay on. It's really that he's tracked down by the clones. Then, here's view. Here's Order 66. What happened? Right when the clones arrived for Asta, asked us then to sink his pod. He was feeling his doors in the force and look at the clones. I saw that the shaking was back. Oh, can't then. No. There's a conflict. Also saw the chance and with the top of the station, decided to leave. He shot the pods. He understood their ships and flew off, with tears in his eyes. As they were now cleared, was about his shot against the starship, but also had already entered hyperspace. He had to feel the pain as the rest of the Jedi Order fall. But one gunshot actually hit his engine, so his cyberspace would fail eventually. So it is that he started to crash. Is crashing. His engine is now failing. He's crashing. He finds a planet. He's crash land. He finds a habitat, not hostile, so he stays there. He jumps out of the pod, right plane starship right before it crashes. Shivers. It crashes in the oceans and he lands. He actually has to swim a little bit to got to land. Just then he starts thinking about it. He meditates. As the Medic Knights, no, not the Medic Knights, but the church people would find him meditating as he's just floating in the air. Meditating, he tried to feel if any Jedi survived. Then just feel up the dark side of the Force and something else. As the Force done, with a headache, passed out. Church people would take him with them to the church and lay him in a bed. So as to wake up, he feels his headache. It hadn't got over yet. As they would well, they would have they had to they asked the workers when they had actually treated his headache. His head as so that here the photo of his head was saw him hit his head first. When he follows meditation, when he wakes up, he feels the headache still. As one of the kids was watching him and the old sister said, he's awake. Also immediately drops, takes his lightsaber close to him as they lie down on a table. He immediately used the force as you open the door and see the lightsaber just flew to his side now. As he would stand up, still wiggle and had a bit of a headache now, still. He would ask him where was he? As Austin would have woken up and be they would tell him where they would ask where he was. They would tell him you're in the cloak and black also remembered something. Seeing that on the scanner of the ship. Then he still continued to feel the effects of the Order 66. As a quick light concealed his force, but then he felt that the dark side was strong here, so he could release it actually here. It all would cancel out, so he couldn't track him down here. So he fought. As Ahsoka learned about us that us had left Order, So try to track him down. She tracks him down to where the clones were. She finds their destroyed ship and the clones that are stuck there on the planet. They find Ahsoka, shoot at her, but then she remembers them. Then she realizes that Asta wasn't here. Then she realizes that he must have left right when the 6 kicks happened. She tries to track him down. Takes some months to track him down though. And so goes to the Grimoire ceremony. Instead of of course, Asta won't get any Grimoire because he has no magic and all that. And we should give him antimagic, no. But instead, a black arm would just come from the wall and get into Asta. You're thinking that he will get antimagic? No, he won't. Sorry, but he will receive others' powers from the demon. But yeah, Asta walks out of there now. Well, you know, it's even so from the guy and all that, but yeah. The magic's nice, and the rumor spread about Asta to the Wizard King. So we'll go to Wizard Archvilson as he finds Asta meditating on her demons. Asta finds him there as Wizard King sees him meditate flowing in the air. Rocks flies there too, Asta concentrates in the force. When his connection to the force is still damaged. What happened? Something else. He felt that Black Organ him disturbed him a little bit too. His force didn't work as completely. He had to adjust it to this world. How to use it. And then it says, okay, what's your business? Asta's lightsaber lying there on stone. Or because the Wizard King also used the force test to grab them. Hadn't clones in his hand, just in case, he said. I heard about you and wanted to check you out. I said, for what? You're hostile towards the Cloud Kingdom? Said the Wizard King. I said, why would I have that hostility towards the king that I resides in? Wizard King said he's not lying and just lets him be. Said, and I will join the Medic Knights. I said, maybe. Then he just leaves. Asta feels something else in the force now. A calling. It'll be Ahsoka trying to call for Asta. Trying to again, she's near the systems. Asta gives her a slightly push in the force. No one else feels it, but since he was so close, he could feel it and feel it. Yeah, it's a sign. The sign he's close. She has lands on a planet. Like a little bit sense in a cave where she could actually feel Asta now. She lands in a cave now. Asta would just wait for her to come out of shape now. She just turns and hugs him. Asta hugs her back too. Said, hi, Ahsoka? As then, Asta would see 3 people walking out of the spaceship too. At once. Asta would immediately had his lightsabers ignited. One lightsaber ignited, one gone already. Ahsoka tells him to hold off. I managed to remove the ships from them. They're loyal now. As they would apologize to Asta. Neil actually before they meant to apologize. So Asta said, yes, Asta would accept this, but Then we'll look at Ahsoka and ask again the survivors. She said, no, not what I can feel. Perhaps Obi-Wan and Yoda. I said, what about Anakin? He said, and no, last time I felt that he was just in pain. I don't think. Asta hugs her immediately said, oh, I'm sorry. I'm sorry. Aston said, what are you doing here though? He said, I need to track you down. First we might stay. If we're gonna hide, we might need to stay together. At least for a while. I said, yeah. Then she asks, so, where's your... Asta said it's destroyed. The ship is destroyed. I have no way of getting out of here. And he said, I'm not planning to either. You know how hard it was for me to adjust my force to not leak out to the dome to find me. Like, I can only imagine. Asta tells her how hard it was. You'll be shocked now. I said yes. With this strong force, I was lucky that this plant was close and nearby. If I had dark energy meeting here, I can hide. Then she says, well, do you have anywhere to stay or anything? I said, yes, he lives in the village. Yeah, but then it tells, might be better if I move to another place still around here, but still. So they built a house in the caves, kinda, where the clones will have their way, like, clones will stay there immediately, because, yeah, there will be a little space basically, so 3 adults just looking the same. Also told the church people that he moved to another place. Didn't know where I lived. Or that Ahsoka was trained with us, sometimes meditated under the demon's skull. As sometimes have us whiskey come to visit actually a month before the medic entry exam, just to check on Asta. And then we see 2 people meditating and walk. What? Is he multiplying something? Then you see the difference though still. As then the meditating was done, Asta will land. I said, hello there, Julius. I said, hi Asta. Who is, I said, a friend of mine. He was like, oh, okay, checking out him. I was like, yeah. Asta already informed her about the medic nights all out to offer. And she was like, I might just stay there to be with him, or I don't know. She was conflicted. Then go back to the clones now. As one of the clones actually froze something to Asta when he walks in. He like, first not recognize, but then he realized that it was the helmet. He gets sad a little bit, but then realizes that he is trying to brighten his mood. It's a droid head from back then. The clone had. Asta threw it at them. They threw it with each other and kicked it. Used the foot now, as Ahsoka actually joined in and they had fun. For a while. As they built all kind of from hangar halls, they restricted iron ore, so they built some technology, but yeah, so they could know they knew if an Empire they listened to hack the Empire code, so in case the Empire moved close. But a month would grow close to where the entry exam would be. Medicine was effect. Just some days left. And that's what I will do in this what if off. I hope you guys enjoyed this what if, and if you do, please consider subscribing. It's free. You can always change your mind. And that's all for me. Now, before I turn off the recording, I was told that I don't know if this will be out before I reach 1K or not. I don't know when this video will get uploaded. But yeah, that's all for me now. See ya in the next one.